Very happy Sunday, folks. I hope everyone's doing well. It feels like a weekly podcast because there's been a lack of activity going on in the transfer window from Celtic as an inbound perspective. But you're all certainly welcome. Get the comments in. Tell us how you're feeling after Friday night. Look, it's a pre-season. The first pre-season's all about getting minutes in the legs, getting the fitness up. I know some people are really disappointed with the performance, and look at it's only a pre-season. I won't be crying over spilt milk at the end of the day. It's good to see the young lads get a run. The goalkeeping situation, it needs to change. It's not just that game. Overall, as we know, we know since the end of February, Joe Hart was going at the end of the season. You think Celtic, would have got the fangs into this and start having initial talks with goalkeepers who are coming towards the end of their contract. But it hasn't worked out like that, folks. It hasn't worked out like that. And I know this week we approached Norwich for Adam Ida. There was a 4 million bid that was knocked back. And I don't blame Norwich. I really don't blame Norwich. I just think Celtic are just being absolutely scroungy when it comes to the summer spending. What summer spending, you could say? What is actually going on? I know Brendan Rodgers came out and said after the post-match reaction to Air that we could have 9 players in, but it's about getting the players that suit the system, that suit the mentality as well, and obviously that will be into the culture as well of Celtic. It's all about culture. It's all about getting the right personalities in the door. But let's see what happens. I'm just going to go to this comment here. Disgrace that we are fanning about with the signings. Ida Bernardo should have been wrapped up weeks ago. Hard situation's been going on for months. Lowell's taking the piss again. 100%. I 100% agree with you. Look, you're going to take a gamble. I think Matt O'Reilly will go this summer, and the money that we get from Matt O'Reilly will cover the cost of getting maybe 3 or 4 players in the door. You probably potentially get a goalkeeper for about 5 to 6 million. You could be getting the likes of Paolo Bernardo in for like 5.5 million, and then maybe Adam Ida in for about 6 million. Norwich are right to stall in this. I don't blame them. I don't blame them. Someone I know said they seen Rodgers in London. I wouldn't be surprised. Would not be surprised. It's only a quick flight down anyway, so why not? Rocking out this jersey as well. Let me see what's happening. Maybe Brendan Rodgers has been offered 9 project signings again. We don't want project signings. Like, I know we've been linked with a Swedish midfielder from Hacken, and what's the point going for an 18-year-old? It could be another Odin Home. Odin Home played all right the other night. I was very impressed with Bosun Lahal. Really impressed with him. Obviously, he's went from playing as a centre back to a defensive and attacking midfielder, which he played well for Fleetwood last season. Scored 5 goals in League One. So I was impressed with him. I was impressed with his work rate. I think give him a string of games over pre-season, see how he's going. Look at Rodgers. When he gives players a run of games of pre-season, so some of it works out. Look at Liam Scales. Liam Scales was basically this time last year out the door for Celtic. And then he obviously got his career up and going. I know it's down to injuries as well and then being consistent, but that's what you got to do. Forget about what's going on around you. It's about putting the work in yourself. So, yeah. And let's see. How's it going, Stuart? Hope you're well. Bored once again. That's it. Look, as I said, even if we don't sell Matt O'Reilly, just 60 million in the bank, we should be getting a goalkeeper. I know. John Kennedy came out and said last week that they're working in the background, they're getting players in, they're working extremely hard. But come on, like, I know the whole Likovic speculation was a load of absolute nonsense. I know I was getting a bit ahead of myself. I know other Celtic podcasts were getting ahead of ourselves as well with regards to Likovic's 7.6 million bid, but we need to get someone like that stature. Like, we're going into the Champions League next season. If you want to regain the title and actually push on winning the treble, you need to improve the squad. And you've seen players leaving already. The likes of Rockavata is gone. We got 270 grand for him. Compensation fee, academy fee. He's gone. He was never going to get first team football, as much as I actually really like him. I really like him. if Welsh stays, I can't remember a single. I'll be honest with you. I look at Welsh has been a good servant coming through the U team and stuff like that, but I don't rate Stephen Welsh. Like every 6 games, he picks up an injury, a shoulder injury, or something to do with his arm. I would get rid of Stephen Welch. I've said this so many times. I know Larga Bielka at the moment has a bit of an injury, so hopefully he'll be back before the end of pre-season. I know obviously Scales has been training, Matt O'Reilly's been training. Still have to wait for Maeda and Rio Tati to come back, and then the 4 lads, the Scottish lads as well. Alistair Johnston has a big game on Wednesday night, which is 1:00 in Irish and Scottish time, against Messi again, who they played in the opening game of the Copa America. So that's the semi-finals. Well done to Canada as well, beating Venezuela in the quarterfinals and the penalty shootout. So just going to be interesting. Like, look at the pre-seasons. We obviously have Queen's Park on Wednesday night over Lesser Hamden. Then we go to play DC United of the MLS over in the US, and then we have Chelsea and Man City in there as well. So interesting fixtures, tasty fixtures. But I think if we were playing in Champions League qualifiers, I think there would be a bit more anxiety building. Now, I think that a lot of us would be like, "Oh, come on, what is really going on here?" You think you would have had a keeper in? Like, it's not a case where Joe Hart decided, like, literally a week before the transfer window, he was leaving Celtic. He decided back at the end of February he was returning for football. And the whole Benjamin Seacrest, he's not to be seen. He's down in Australia. I'd cut his contract off. I know it's reported that he's already left, but, you know, let's see. Problem was getting rid of Welch. We are lacking at the back. I know Kobashi played the other day. I don't rate Kobashi. I'd get rid of Welch, Kobashi as well. Nawrocki, him and Welch might as well just sitting on the injury table, to be honest with you. Nawrocki, a guy that I have real high hopes about, but can't keep himself fit. Stupid hamstring injury keeps getting up. I just feel frustrated about the whole Maik Nawrocki stuff. A guy that we played a decent fee for as well from Lega Warsaw, and I don't know how many games he's actually played for us. Let me just check. It's interesting now to see how many games he's actually played for us. Let's have a look now. I'll put it on the screen as well for you so you can all see. Let me see. It's just a shocker, isn't it? Like, a guy that we got last season, like, you know, coming in to replace Carl Starfelt, he's just been an absolute liability so far. And I feel sorry for him, but it's the truth, though. That's the way to relate him. He is a liability because he can't keep himself fit. Really can't. His contract's up in May 28th. So let me just present this to you. I'll go through the comments anyway. Once again, another week into the transfer window, still no sign. Nicholson needs to get the fingers out. It's beyond a joke now. We're only six. Realistically, we're only actually 6 days into the window. The window actually officially opened last Monday. So, as I said, I'm not getting stressed about it too much. The transfer window closes on the 30th of August. I understand you're seeing other clubs in the league making 3 or 4 signings, but that doesn't make a point that they're going to go out and win, take the league off us. You know, at the end of the day, I'd rather quality over quantity, and that's me being reassuring to you. Like, I am a bit annoyed that we haven't brought a keeper in. You know, the whole Adamida thing, that's going to sail. That's going to sail until the end of the season, till the end of the transfer window. That's why I think Celtic and Genk haven't came to a deal yet, regards to because they're trying to get Adamida in the door. That's my honest opinion on it. You know, it's not me being waffling, me just being honest, which is. Big Rab, sorry, are you serious? Lanky, let's see. To be honest, you're going to get a lot of speculation over Matt O'Reilly. Obviously, Leicester is the latest one that's meant to be in the hunt from. Which look at, you always say don't trust the sun, don't trust the Daily Record. 2 showers of bad papers and all this malarkey, but you have to read off as well at times, because sometimes. They could be right. Obviously, they're saying that Leicester are going to put a bid in of 30 million for Matt O'Reilly. if we can get 30 million plus add-ons around 5 million quid, I take it. I know some Celtic fans want to hold out the 40 million. It doesn't always work like that, folks. It doesn't always work like that. I know that there is a handful of teams interested in Matt Riley, and there was Roma interested in him 2 weeks ago. There's talks of Southampton are interested, but they want to put 20 million on the table. No thanks. We're going to smash that Kieran Tierney record, transfer record. 60 people tuning in today, folks. Please do subscribe to the channel. It'd be really appreciated as well. I know I haven't been on much, just to be honest with you, it's the same roundabout talk. I don't want to get people getting bored of listening to me talk absolute spiel, but that's why I haven't been on as well. Paulo Bernardo has obviously been linked to us again. Obviously, daily record of being spicing this up, as you want to claim, that Celtic are in lock talks of 4 million, but Benfica are looking for around 6 million for the 22-year-old Portuguese midfielder. 15 starts last season for Celtic, 5 goals, and out of 33 games he featured last season. I like Bernardo, but I don't know how long this is going to go on and on and on regards to getting this guy in the door. It's just getting to the stage where what's happening with Paulo Bernardo. But I'm just going to root out Nawrocki's stats as well while I'm here. See how many games he's actually played for Celtic. Let me see. So here we go. Let's put this on this now. I hope he's like the new top as well. This is the coach's training gear. It was £65, but I have to say it is comfortable as hell. I'm gonna try get the tracksuit bottoms off as soon, and then the training top, and then I'll look into getting the away jersey when it's launched. I'm gonna talk about the away jersey on the channel as well. Get the questions in, folks. Don't hesitate as well. So this is Nawrocki's stats, right? Here you go, folks. 13 games he's played for Celtic. 13 games. It's not good enough. I'm sorry, but it's not good enough. 788 minutes. A part of me is like, I think we're wasting money. I think it was a waste of money getting this guy in because he's so injury prone. It's ridiculous. Where's the stat? Oh, where can you pull his stats? Is his injury history? Let's have a look at his injury history. I'll get through the comments in a minute. Look at the point of that. There's a hamstring injury there, right? He was out for 42, and then he got another injury which hasn't been reported on this website. He picked up another injury in the new year as well, just after St. Mirren. Honestly, I'm frustrated talking about Welch and Larga Bielka and Nawrocki. It just feels like we have absolute duds in the building at the moment. So yeah, I know that sounds bad criticizing our squad, but we could do better. Really could do better, to be honest with you. Especially going into a Champions League campaign of 8 games, we need to have consistent centre backs. I know we've Carter Vickers and we've Scales there, but we should be going out and actually getting a centre back for about 7 million. I know we've been linked with Bournemouth centre back Chris Mepham as well, the Welsh centre back, but we'll see what happens with that. How's it going? I hope you're well. I'm in Singapore. I hope you're doing well, bud. Good to see you. I'll be honest with you, I haven't been bothered watching any podcasts this week. I've been so busy with work and other stuff. So I thought I'd pop on, engage with you. As I said, if you could subscribe to the channel, all means. If you want to buy the membership, all means. I know no one hasn't bought a membership in about 2 months, so I'm not going to chase you to buy a membership for 99 pence. It's up to yourselves. But let's see what our best centre back pair in the last 24 years has been Codwell and McManus in Europe. Yeah, 100%. 1-3 in a row last 16, but obviously, Rab, the landscape of football has changed since then. Gordon Strachan was really pressing football, believed in, domestic signings. I know Steve McManus came through the Celtic Youth Academy. I know Codwell, we signed him from Hibs. It's completely different. And I wish we had that bit of a bite in our team. And this is what I'm afraid of, to be honest, which is we all go on about Callum McGregor being a phenomenal captain, but there was a spells in last season where Callum McGregor wasn't to be seen in some games. He was off it. And when he came back from that injury, he played remarkably, really well for Celtic. But we need that more consistency. As the previous season before that, he was consistent. The season of Ange's 4th season, we need that consistent. That's what worries me, is if he comes off the dip, who's going to build, who's going to show leadership attributes, because Joe Hart is gone. And we need to bring in big personalities as well, alongside being good players. So that's my concern, folks. Like this, I think a lot of people are expecting Celtic to win this league next season by a landslide of maybe 12 to 14 points, but I don't know. I really don't know. It's all down to what's done in this window. It's all done. It's not down to the preseason games. We could go out and lose all preseason games now from the air game onwards, which we drew 1-1. So I'm quite concerned of the leadership side of it. That's what I'm worried about. As I say, we need a big presence there. We need someone that has a good personality. Look at Joe Hart, came in the door. You knew he's obviously done it in English football, but he didn't step over the ground at Callum McGregor. He respected Callum McGregor, and he's done so many interviews about that. So we're going to go through the stuff. Did you do the fan survey on the Celtic website? Mention your answers to Cree. Yeah, obviously done the survey. Obviously, they talked about the facilities. They talked about obviously hospitality, fruit, or the food, the actual, the facilities as well. I hope they do increase the safe standing. Obviously, I know there's been reports that they put planning permission in last February to obviously do the safe standing over where the boys is. It'd be good to push safe standing in British football, because you don't see it in the English Premier League because of obviously what happened to Hillsborough and stuff like that. But Celtic were the first club in Britain to bring in the safe standing section. So it'd be good if we went down that German model route as well. But we'll see what happens. I didn't, to be honest with you, I didn't type much and say much in the survey. I just done, ratings and tick next and this and that. I just don't have the mentality to be sitting down and typing loads of stuff. I know it's important for the survey, but there's probably around 80,000 that do it as well. But the good thing is, regards to reviews, it's great to see Celtic Park is up there with the top TripAdvisors reviews in the world. And it's sad that you got opposition teams and opposition fans commenting bad reviews on TripAdvisor and Trustpilot and stuff like that, because they're just pathetic, because Celtic Park is one of the best places to go and see as an attraction. Not even people that are into sports. They just go and they get the history. They get to see how good the tour guides are and how passionate they are. It's just a great place to go. I bring me mate David. It was the day after the 3-3 game, and he's a big Man United fan and supports St. Pat's, but he has a heart for Celtic. I'm starting to get him into the whole Celtic side of it, and he loved it. He absolutely loved it. He said, Keith, I've done Old Trafford, I've done the new camp, I've done other stadiums, but this is up there this is probably up there as the best. And that just shows it. That just shows that just down to the history, where you walk into that trophy room at the start, and the tour guide tells you everything about how we were formed and the purpose behind each trophy we won, the gifts that we were presented for testimonials or important events and stuff like that. Even the Coronation Cup is in there as well. So just rich history, and it always brings a tear to your eye when you talk about the stadium tour, about even when you go through that tunnel and you see that stadium, you look around, it's just, takes me back to the first time I've done it. But yeah, look, in regards to the transfer, folks, just keep the comments coming in. It's great to see the Celtic world on, folks. Point exactly what we need. We need a Celtic man like Cal, Forrest, Taylor, Ralston, Kennedy in the background. But that's the thing. Like, you do worry that if we bring a keeper in, is he going to be another Barkas? Is he going to fail? That's the thing. Like, look, I'm not going to lie, when we were linked with Barkas, I was like, this is a decent keeper. But if you go back over my videos, back to when that particular summer, I actually wanted Joe Hart before he went to Burnley. I actually wanted Joe Hart. So I was calling for Benjamin Secrets then as well. I was calling a year and a half ago for Likovic. So yeah. Why are we selling our young players, and what is that are the next best thing? Because Celtic are not being ambitious enough and offering them a decent contract to keep them at the club. Look at what happened with Doak. Look what happened with Dembele. I know Dembele, his career hasn't been great since he left Celtic, playing for the likes of Blackpool and playing for teams in the second division of France. And then Rockavata has gone to Watford, and I wish Rocca the best. It's just down to not offering a decent enough contract. I think Daniel Kelly be next. My honest opinion, I'd love to see Daniel Kelly get a run in the side. I'd rather get rid of Odin Hone and get rid of Daniel Kelly. You know, that could be a future captain there for Celtic. He has the attributes. You know, he's a workhorse, scores goals. He's a Celtic man, good work rate. I think we need to keep Daniel Kelly. You know, I know a couple of clubs were linked with Daniel Kelly about 2 months ago, Bundesliga clubs and teams down south and stuff, but the answer is we're not offering a decent enough contract, Paul. That's Paul as well that I met on the train. Yeah, that's your answer, man. If you're playing for a club where you're not really getting a lot of time, and someone comes in and offers you maybe triple the wage or double the wage and guarantee you a path forward for your career, you're gonna go. You're gonna go, regardless how much you love being at Celtic. Players go. It's a business. You know, we're just fans. We can give our opinions on who should stay, who should go, but they got to think of their career as a perspective. You know, if you're getting offered double the amount and you're getting offered better incentives to go and play in a more competitive league, like we say, oh, we can offer you Champions League football. Rockavata might not be on the bench for the Champions League squads. You know, he might average only play 8 games a season, or you could go to Watford and play maybe 25 games a season out of a 48 game season in the Championship. You know, Vicarage Road's decent stadium, decent infrastructure. Watford have a great youth squad as well, a great youth academy. We have obviously looked at their youth academy players in the past. So, yeah. So, seemingly he's been outstanding for Pereiro. I don't know who you're talking about. Who are we talking about here? The Big Monty Canadians. Yeah, they've done. I didn't get to watch the game the other night. I have a Canada jersey there with Alistair Johnson on. I'm going to wear it on Wednesday. I'll do a podcast on Wednesday night, hopefully. Maybe Celtic fans need to be a bit more patient, understand we haven't signed anyone, but we need quality. I just think as well, maybe the club are looking at a perspective of clearing out the players first as well. You know, open up freeing that wage bill as well. You're going to look at that in a positive way. Hakizbanovic is gone now. You know, Rock is gone. I know Rockavata probably wasn't on a lot of money anyway because he was still on an academy contract. But you just need to be a little bit more patient. As much as I hate saying that, because I'm feeling that little bit of anxiety kicking in, that I want to see a goalkeeper brought in. I want a keeper in this week. I want to gel a keeper in. I want to get him that full. You know, it's less than a month until we kick off our season against Kilmarnock at Parkhead on the Sunday at 4:30 on the 4th of August. Also, as well, if he haven't been in touch, the Derby game has been changed to the 1st of September, 12:30 kickoff. My birthday's on the 2nd, so it's a big weekend. I'm going to be absolutely pissed for that. I'm going to try to get a ticket for the game. I know I was like winning the lotto if I get a ticket for the game. So if anyone's gone away and they have a ticket, I'll gladly contribute money towards using your season ticket for it, because it's my birthday that weekend, and obviously I'm going to be in Glasgow for it, so I'll do anything to be at a derby. I haven't been at a Glasgow derby since 2008, so I really need to go to them. Good question, Lewis. What were your thoughts on Said leaving the club? Delighted. Absolutely delighted. Don't like the guy. See that post he put about Instagram last year? It's just his attitude's appalling, stinking. You know, like, yeah, he looks like he has a bit of potential, but you want someone that's mentally in for. I know he said good things about the fans and stuff, and he's posting all, but no, he was out of club for a reason. You know, the different situation with Musa Dembele. You know, Dembele and Rodgers obviously had that so-called disagreement and stuff like that. And then he ended up going after the AK Athens game when we didn't get to the Champions League. But I'd love to see Musa back at Celtic. It's not going to happen though. How can we be patient with transfers when after the total fuck up last season? But we won the league last season. We had a lot of anxiety. We were a lot of us were pissed off. A lot of us, I was at one point I was calling the club, the board, saying, "Look, what's the board doing here?" You know, as I said so many times in the podcast, by the end of January, I was thinking to myself, we're not going to win this league. Only a little bit of hope, and we turned it around. So just be patient. Look, there's people at the top there that quite know that there's a lot to be staked here. Next, whoever wins the league this coming season, we're not going straight into the Champions League the following season. You have to do playoffs and stuff like that. It all depends on the coefficient as well. I know Scotland have dropped down in the UEFA coefficient, but on to Lewis's question. Realistically, if Celtic sell Matt O'Reilly, I think they should use 10 million of that and buy Queevy and Keller. That's my honest opinion. 10 million on Queevy and Keller, and then 12 use 12 million on getting Ida and Bernardo. I think if we get Keller, we get Ida and Bernardo, we're in a good position for next season. I still believe we need another left back. You know, obviously, Berta Bay is in Brazil playing at the moment. I know Adam Montgomery is back in the fold. It's good to see young Dane Murray as well getting the captaincy the other day for the second half of the game. But I like to get Kasper Schmeichel as well. The thing about Kasper Schmeichel is he's the same age as Joe Hart. He's 37 years of age. He's a free agent. He's left Anderlecht. He's done well for Denmark in the Euros. I know they got beaten by Germany. So yeah, you know, it's not a bad show, to be honest with you. Good show, Christopher. We need strength, power. We need a lot of things, to be honest, to keep the mentality up. But yeah, you gotta trust Brendan's ethos. You gotta trust. I know this time last year, if I said trust Brendan's ethos, Happy's be like, oh, no, didn't want them back at the club. Didn't want this. Didn't want that. Trophies changed opinions. That's changed opinions on. Look, my mate said to me yesterday, he's like, I don't know how Celtic won the league, Keith. It's like Rangers fell apart, and he goes, it's a bit down to that, and it's a bit down to mentality, because Celtic went into them games and, you know, they done well. We didn't get beaten by them. Dropped 2 points on Ibrox, which we should have won that. But yeah. So if you could subscribe to the channel, I'm gonna stay on for another 10 minutes. I'd be really appreciative if you could. As I said, just to recap, Leicester City are reportedly in for Matt O'Reilly. They're meant to be putting a bid in around 30 million, but actions speak louder than words. Reports that Celtic are in lock talks with Paulo Bernardo's representatives and Benfica about luring them to the club for reportedly 4 million, which is a stingy offer, I think, for Paulo Bernardo. I'd be pushing for about 5.5 for Paulo Bernardo, 22 years of age. You know, he started 15 games last season for Celtic, played a few Champions League games, and I think Celtic are being very stingy when it comes to these bids. And I'm not saying that we're throwing all the money in the world, but be realistic. Be realistic, because if you don't be realistic, another club is going to come in and snap the player under your feet. Simple as that. Simple as that. So let's have a look now. As I said, the reason why we're selling the young players is because they're not giving them a decent contract to keep them at Celtic. Pittance, some of the contracts. So I don't get annoyed with our club. If people just think how bad it is, look, I understand that, but like the 90s is different. We're nearly going back to over 30 years now. You're going back to the 90s when Celtic actually had no money. You know, Fergus McCann saved us around 94 from going down, you know, from basically being, you know, put out of business. But yeah, we're on 30 years on. Celtic is a big marketing tool. They have an up-to-date stadium. They're competing in European football. They've won what? The last 12 out of 13 leagues. They've won 5 trebles in there as well in the space of that decade as well. So, but if you want to keep it going, you gotta invest in the squad. You gotta invest in getting players in and making money off them and putting the money back into the club in some aspects. I know they're improving They're meant to be given this new makeover around Celtic Park, and they're meant to be upgrading the away section and stuff like that for the next derby and stuff. But we want to see players brought in, folks. We want to see players brought in. At the end of the day, like the whole thing about Kasper Schmeichel, I'd take him for a season, but I realistically want to get a long-term keeper, someone that's maybe 26 to 28. You know, work on that. He's on a free. I take him, and Brendan's worked with Kasper Schmeichel as well, so he knows his attributes and his leadership as well. And he's a good leader. You can see it with the Danish. You've seen it with the Danish squad. Like you can see that he's not the captaincy for no reason. Yeah, patience is what we gave last season, and look how that went. We won the league. We won the league. You know, if we didn't win the league, and I'm sitting here saying, look, can't be patient. You need to pull the pressure on them. We won the league and the cup. You know. I think it's frustrating for us. How do you think Brendan feels? How do you think Brendan feels? I think Brendan's walking the background with the board, but it's only 7 days, folks. It's only 7 days. It's not like we're 3 weeks into it. 7 days. Be officially a week tomorrow. As I said, we're cleared now. Players, not like there hasn't been any activity going on in the club. Players are going, which is good. I don't want the Swiss keeper. Sommer's a good keeper. He is a decent keeper, but we're not linked to him. We're not linked to him at all. What age is Sommer? I think Sommer's I think he's in his mid-30s as well. Jan Sommer. I knew it was Jan, but I just wanted to double check. Jan Sommer. Let's have a look at Jan Sommer's stats. What age is Jan Sommer? Except 34 years of age. 34. That's not bad. Joe Hart was 34 when you signed him. He's in contract. He's played for Inter Milan. Didn't even know he played for Inter. I thought he still played in the Bundesliga. Let's have a look here. I'll put this up on the page for you. 2 seconds now. There we go, folks. So this is Jan Sommer. This is the Swiss international. I think he's the captain of Switzerland as well, if I'm correct. No, Xhaka is. He's the vice captain. This is it here. So he's playing. How many games did he play for Inter Milan? Let's have a look now. So who did he leave? He was at Bayern Munich. Like, this is a guy that would actually suit Celtic. He has experience. And people are saying, oh, he can't save a penalty. Joe Hart couldn't really save a penalty at most times as well. So he pulled off some cracking saves against England yesterday. Really good saves. Run around the post as well. What am I looking for? Looking out for by club. You know what? Do it by club, right? 2 seconds now. We'll have a look now. Like, look at this. Played for 170 times for Basel. Basel are a Champions League squad team. Like they have qualified. Well, the last 2 years they've been shocking. Before that, they were, playing on a regular basis in the Champions League. Played 43 times for Inter Milan, folks. 43 times. Played 335 games for Borussia Mönchengladbach. Really decent team. We played in the Champions League in Brendan's 4th season as well. I'm playing 25 times for Bayern Munich. Who said they don't want Jan Sommer? Look at that. Look at that CV in itself, folks. He's 24 years of age. I would happily put a 5 million bid in for Jan Sommer if it was right. He used to be mad not to go for someone like Jan Sommer. Look at that. Look at that experience. Madness. I'd rather take Jan Sommer over Schmeichel. Like, Jan Sommer's 3 years younger. Schmeichel's 37. How's it going, Edward? Hope you're well. Get rid of these players. We need the first priority, blah, blah, blah. As I said, I think it's just a case of freeing up the wage bill. Like the whole McCarthy thing. We may turn around and say yesterday, he goes, is McCarthy's middle name Slater? Because he's been missing. And I was like, look, I goes, at the end of the day, the whole situation with James McCarthy is atrocious. Is absolutely atrocious. That guy's contract should have been snipped 18 months ago. And I'm surprised. I'm sure Celtic fans have met him in Glasgow and got angry and said, you should leave our club and this and that. You're just collecting a dead wage. And I don't blame them. I really don't blame him. He hasn't done enough to turn around and say, oh, like, the difference is, like, look at Scott Bain. Scott Bain is not really contributing much to Celtic. He plays a couple of pre-seasons, plays 1 or 2 cup games a season, and that's it. He's been at Celtic for almost 8 years now, and he's collecting a wage. But the difference with Scott Bain to James McCarthy is James McCarthy is doing nothing, is doing absolute nothing. That wage could be put in to another player, you know. Oh, he's 10 times worse than Dirk Breeder. 10 times worse, to be honest. But yeah, just want to check something, folks, while I'm here. Just let me see. If you could subscribe to the channel. So since I've done the video, since I've done this podcast today, not one person has a new subscriber. Be really appreciated if I can get a new subscriber as well. Like, it just feels desperate. I don't know if yous are just not feeling it. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, I'll try to do more podcasts when I get the time to do them. As I said, McCarthy was a Desmond signing, 100%. I doubt anything James McCarthy ever done for Celtic was when won that tackle, and then Bear the Bay swung it into Giakoumakis, and that was in against St. Johnstone away in McDermott Park. I remember that in the dying embers of the game, because St. Johnstone scored, and we're like, oh, we're going to throw this away, and then we got that winner. Good points, Lewis. Schmeichel, the short-term fix, but we need someone younger. I think Dubravka is 35. It looks like he could go for another 3 or 4 years easily. Martin Dubravka, obviously, he's going to be sitting down with Newcastle the next couple of days. Slovakia were knocked out last week by England, and to see what happens with his contract situation. They have obviously brought in John Ruddy. He's shy. Terrible keeper, John Ruddy. And they brought another keeper in as well, a Greek keeper. So that means that Nick Pope is going to be number 1 choice or number 2 choice probably, and Newcastle Dubravka moves down. And they obviously they got rid of Loris Karius. I wouldn't go near Loris Karius. How's it going? Hope you're well. As I said, folks, please subscribe to the channel. It'd be really appreciated. As I said, just to recap, the people that are tuning in, reportedly that we're in lock talks with Benfica for a 4 million fee for Paulo Bernardo. I don't know how accurate it is. It's the usual Daily Record publishing it. Benfica trying to hold out for 6. How about we meet them halfway and just go for 5 million and get them a decent sell-on clause of maybe 25% if he goes. The whole situation with Maik Nawrocki, you've got the likes of Brighton interested, Southampton, now Leicester, AS Roma, Inter Milan, Atletico Madrid. You know, it's all about fee. I think one of the English teams will put a panic fee in, but we'll see what happens with that. Good question, Lucky. I was really impressed with Bosun Lahal the other night when he came on. I thought he dictated the game quite well. Looked like a bit of a, kind of remind me of Wanyama, pushing up, a bit of power behind him as well, you know, skipping past some players. So I'd like to see him get a decent run in pre-season, and maybe, you know, Kwon looked all right in spells of the game, but Yang needs to go. Yang needs to go. And hopefully we can get rid of Yang and send him on loan or something. I think maybe sending Yang to the likes of Dundee United or somewhere like that would do him good. I think he needs to develop as a player. Kwon, obviously, I said send him back to St. Mirren for another season, because he's still in a contract and stuff like that. And Celtic are not going to end contracts with players, as you see. Obviously, the whole James McCarthy stuff that's going on, like, he should have been gone. But good question to be honest. Just let me see. But yeah, 100%. Right, folks, I'm going to leave it there. If you can tell me your pals about my channel, it'd be really appreciated. Looking to get a couple of more new subs. I'm trying to push for this 18,000. I'm seeing other channels around me striving. Yeah, they put the work in, and fair play to them, but you know, you're not going to get as much honesty from a Celtic channel than myself, because I think a lot of other channels are very filtered and afraid to speak out about the club in certain ways, and I've nothing to lose here. I'd just rather speak how it is about particular players without particular ways that the club are dealing with transfer strategy and business. You know, get a keeper in as soon as possible. You know, if the right fee comes in for Maik Nawrocki, as much as I don't want him gone because he's one of our key players, you take the fee, you bring Ida, you bring Bernardo in, and you work on getting a keeper as well. As I said, realistically, if you want to get Creevy and Keller in the door, you're gonna have to put about 10 million on the table. But Celtic are not going to put 10 million on the table for a keeper. Let's be realistic. Use your head and your heart. So I'm going to leave it there. Hopefully, over the next couple of days, be more names linked in the mix, and I'll pop on and I'll talk about them on Transfer Market. I'll talk about what they can offer. I know someone said about Jan Sommer there. I would gladly take Jan Sommer at Celtic. 24 years of age, play for the likes of Inter Milan, you know, playing for Bayern Munich, playing for Basel, playing for Borussia Mönchengladbach. That's a guy that has a wealth of experience. Swiss international as well, playing in World Cups and Euros and all. I think you'd be mad not to. If you came on the market, I'd easily go for Jan Sommer over the Rafke, you know. But need some minutes, 100%, 100%. I'm going to do a video on Boatswain Hall over the next couple of days and talk about what we could have a gem there. Funny enough, Boatswain Hall's brother lives above my ex-partner, and I met him a couple of times, and he's like to me, "Oh, I see you're a big Celtic fan." And the last time I seen him, Boatswain was actually at Fleetwood. He's like, "Oh, he's doing well down in Fleetwood." He's like, he loves being at Celtic and stuff. And I was like, "Well, hopefully he can get a chance at Celtic." So he's been called up for the Ireland squad as well in recent friendlies and stuff like that. So see what happens. We'll see what happens. He needs a bit of minutes. I think there's a Victor Wanyama there in him. He looks like he has a bit to him. And to be honest, I didn't really look at much of when he played for Fleetwood on loan. So I just know he's moved up a position from centre back to defensive and attacking midfield, and there's a couple of goals in there as well. So I thought when Scott Brown was working with him as well at Fleetwood, that made him develop into that position before obviously Scott Brown left his position at Fleetwood. But good luck to Brownie with Ayr. I hope he gets them up. You know, I know Ayr is a bit of another you know, there's backgrounds of Rangers links and stuff like that. But good luck to Scott Brown with Ayr this coming season. The championship in Scottish football is hard, so hopefully he gets his team up and going and, you know, wins promotion. It's a difficult league, really difficult league, and then hopefully Scott Brown can move up and maybe go to Hibs as his next job after that. But I just couldn't believe some Celtic fans when Lenny left and people were like, "Oh, give Bruni the job, give this and that." I'm like, no. Like, obviously there's something going on in that dressing room that's affecting. And obviously Lenny was a part of it as well. But it's the best for Scott Brown, the best for Bruni. Okay, we'll see what happens. But I'm going to leave the stream there, folks. 45 minutes of chatting shy. And hopefully we'll start getting players in the door soon. Speak to us all soon. Have a good Sunday. Hell.